Hello, witches. How are you all doing? It has been quite a while since I have been on the channel. I have had so much going on, so I had to take a break. But I've been doing a lot lately. I was sick for like 2 weeks with a cold as well, like the last 2 weeks. I'm finally getting over it. You might still hear it in my throat a little bit. And just a lot of family stuff going on as well for a while now, since like last November. But things are smoothing out more and more, so you can look forward to me being back on the channel more often, and hopefully getting back into doing my readings and stuff all the time for you guys. So I'm looking forward to that. I miss it. It's a huge chunk of my life and my spirituality and my spiritual path to do the readings, to put out there for all of you. So thank you guys all for hanging in with me and waiting this out on the channel and staying subscribed. And the subscribers have continued to grow, so I'm thankful for that as well. During the last few months when I haven't even been putting out any readings at all. So I appreciate that. I'm excited about it, and I'm looking forward to, you know, giving you guys more content. Like I said, it's part of my spiritual path and expression to share things. So I have missed it a lot, probably as much as you all have missed seeing my videos. I sort of just wanted to come on and give a little update, let you guys know what's been going on a little bit, and what to expect, that I will be coming back to do regular content on the channel again. There's been so much going on, I don't even know where to start, and talking about some spiritual and magical stuff that has been going on. I've continued to work with the fairy spirits, with my fairy altar, and drawing them in. It has affected me deeply in a transformational way. I feel that it has really triggered some things and stirred some things within me in a deep, like really deep way that I'm not even fully conscious of, if that makes sense. I want to describe it as like an avalanche of transformation, and in the sense of like this deep foundational changes within myself. But saying avalanche makes it kind of sound catastrophic and bad, but it's actually good. It's like a shifting of the foundations. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But it feels really deep, and like I said, almost at an unconscious level. Like I feel like the fairy spirits are working on me when I'm sleeping, or when I've been sleeping lately, or at least partly. I also had some weird experiences when I was sick in particular, where I felt, and I had like my astral state where I was like sort of awake, or in between awake and asleep, and I could feel this presence coming into my room, and it felt very alien, like extraterrestrial type alien, and it was like sort of observing me. I felt like it was trying to tell me something, like a warning or something. Or it may have even been threatening me. I don't know what it was. But it just had that vibe that was like, low-key threatening in a way. So I got rid of that entity. It did come back the very next night, but I also sent it away that night too. And then after that, it stayed away for several days. It did return once last week, and it was different when it came back. Like, it was not so aggressive. It was not even in my room. It sort of came to me in the dream state itself, and its tone was completely different. It's like it was just trying to communicate and not necessarily whatever vibe that was when it first came around. It felt threatening for some reason to me. I feel like it was the way it was communicating was like aggressive and invasive. So after I sent it away the first 2 times, when it came back the 3rd time, it came into the dream state itself, not in my room when I was in the in-between state. And it was communicating to me some things that I feel is related to the spiritual changes I've been going through with the fairies and all of that. Those transformations I was talking about. I feel like this entity may be related to that. It might even be a fairy. I'm not sure. It felt alien to me when it came the first 2 times. Like, it really gave me those strong alien vibes. But even the 3rd time, I felt that energy too, but it was much more calm and not invasive and not aggressive. It was just like having a normal conversation with someone or something. But it was telling me some things about, what was it? I didn't write these down for some reason. I normally am really good about writing down my experiences and dreams and all of that, especially of this nature where it's like real spirits communicating with me in the dream state. But I didn't write it down because I'd been sick. I just didn't feel up to writing in my dream journal and stuff. But it was telling me something about what was it? Let me think about this for a minute. It will come back to me. I can't remember exactly what the conversation was word for word, but I remember the gist of the conversation was something about it was trying to help me to better understand something so that I can then teach it and better explain it to my students and possibly on the channel in some future videos, specifically about that content. But it was very interesting. It almost felt like it was reminding me of part of my spiritual purpose and destiny. I felt like it was giving me ancient memories, like of a past life or something, or of my state of being prior to incarnating, like now as this person. It felt like it was giving me some kind of ancient memory or knowledge like that in a way. And like in another place, I was not living on the earth in that life. I was like living somewhere else on another planet or something. It was so strange. But it felt very real, and it felt like a memory. Or it felt like being reminded of something that you can't quite remember on your own, if that makes sense. But you know that it's like real. I don't know how to explain it, but it was very intense. And that was the last time that entity came around. It got its message through, and it has not been back since. So that was interesting. And I thought I would just talk about that in this video. So things are evolving with the fairies. I felt like it might have been a fairy. I feel like aliens and all of that stuff is just interdimensional beings anyways. So, you know, that could be why I felt like that alien vibe from it the first time it came around. And also it was just very like weird and invasive the first couple times it came around. But it did also feel connected to the recent changes and spiritual development with the fairies that I've been going through. So, because its message was kind of connected to that. So it just felt very unique and connected to that. So let me see if there's anything else I should say or just share. There's been a lot going on, so I'm going to have to think about this for a while. What else has happened? Another thing is another spirit went into another doll of mine as well. I feel like it might be connected to this too. I guess I can show y'all the other doll. So this doll, a spirit has gone into it, and I feel like it might be a fairy or something also connected and related to what's been going on with my path. One of the spirits that has been communicating with me or has been around me and connected to all this went into this doll. And I could feel it staring at me the other night. This is probably the most recent experience or encounter I've had, was the spirit going into this doll. So I still need to get to know this one. It felt like it was sort of just watching me in a way of like, what is the word? Almost like it's just there to observe, and also in case if I need help with anything. Like it will be there to see when I need help and things like that. That's the vibe I was getting from it. It has not communicated with me, I don't think. Other than that impression that I get from it, like why it's here. So I just thought that was interesting as well. Can you feel its presence in here? I can feel it very strongly. And the other doll that I had showed y'all before, that spirit has completely left. I don't know where it went. Remember, I had told y'all that there was a poltergeist in that doll. And then another spirit had came through. It was either a fairy or a fallen angel. And it chased the poltergeist away and it went into the doll. And since then, that spirit has now departed as well from the doll. So that doll is just an empty vessel now. And I still never found out where the poltergeist went or what happened to it. But I do know that the fairy or the fallen angel that had come and went into that doll left of its own volition. It just left. Straight up. Probably because I was neglecting it and not communicating with it or anything, because I was not fully trusting that spirit because it chased the poltergeist away or it did something with the poltergeist. So I was like, I am not going to communicate with you. You're sketchy. So it left on its own. I didn't have to banish it or anything. Strange, I know. But now that doll's an empty vessel, I'm going to probably do some work on it. Like change its appearance and stuff up a little bit, maybe. And inspirit it myself with something. So that's the update on that doll. But this one, I feel like is my little helper now. I feel like a very ancient spirit went into this doll, and it's sort of like there quietly watching and observing me, like almost like as a teacher or a mentor way. Like they're just there to see what I'm up to and if I need help with anything. That's the vibe I get from it. So I'm really pleased with this one, and I'm happy that it came and that it's here. I wish it would communicate with me, tell me its name and all of that, but we will see how this progresses. This has only been here for like a week, so I haven't really even tried to talk to it or anything yet. I just wanted to show y'all also real quick. My mom got me these gnomes for my fairy altar. And it's funny because I was just thinking about how I wanted to put some gnomes on my fairy altar. Which is odd because, to be frank and honest, I sort of have an aversion to gnomes. And like small like mythical dwarves and things like that, and gnomes, for some reason in particular, gnomes have always sort of scared me. I'm not even gonna lie. I've just had like an aversion to them. They felt creepy to me. But as I have been getting into more and more into fairy magic and all of that, and setting up the altar and connecting with their spirits, inviting them in, I started feeling drawn to gnomes and wanting to attract them for some reason, like intuitively, and wanting some little figures to put on my altar. And I kept this all to myself, but my mom actually got me these spontaneously. So I just took that as a sign that, you know, they can hear me calling out to them now. And I actually think these are cute and not scary. So that's a plus. Okay, I'm lying. Because as I sit here and look and actually fixate and stare at the faces, they do creep me out. I'm not going to lie. But I feel like I'm more and more able to look past it. Because there's something about their energy that's drawing me in. I think I'm more freaked out by how they look, by the fact that they're small. Okay, I'm going to psych myself out now if I start thinking about it and analyzing it. I was doing fine, just letting my soul go on its thing, but now that I'm analyzing it, it's creeping me out again. Okay. So we're going to skip that. We're not going to analyze it or break it down. My soul is feeling drawn to them for some reason, so I'm just going with it and letting it happen. I'm getting over my fears, okay? But I do feel like they have been around too. Sort of a little bit, like not really staying, but kind of coming through, checking me out, and then leaving again. That's what I've been feeling from them. So that's very interesting too. I will do more updates on all of this and go more in depth in future videos, but I just sort of wanted to come on because I haven't been on in a while and just have a little chat. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me once again when I have not been posting for months. And thank you to all the new subscribers and welcome to the family. So until next time, as always, hail to the witches, hail Hecate, and blessed be.